So I'm confused. Like, did I get a bad frontal, or like what's going on with the hair? I'm irritated. Yeah, so this is day 3 of trying to do this frontal.
Hey guys, so I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be making my frontal wig. Here's my frontal. I have 3 bundles, 20, 22, and 24. I have a blonde wig cap because my hair is the Cinderella blonde color. These are the 2 stocking caps that I plan on putting under my wig. I usually get the brown one because my skin is brown and it's just easier instead of getting the beige one and putting makeup on it. I have this Cream of Nature medium warm brown because I want to dye my roots so that I don't just have a blonde frontal sitting on my head. I have this Shimmer Lights purple shampoo, and this is to tone the hair so that it's not as blonde. And then here's some thread. I have some needles in here, as well as T-pins, and here are some clips that I'm going to use for when I start dyeing the frontal, just the roots. So here's everything. I went and got this edge brush also, don't mind my nails. I went and got this edge brush because I plan on dyeing the hair with this comb. And then it also has this bottom part that's like a rat tail, which will be easier for me to part through the hair. So over here are my scissors for learning to cut my thread. And over here I have my wig head, and I have a stand.
So I just woke up. Obviously it's the next day, and I'm gonna finish my units, which is this blonde one. It's a glare. I'm gonna turn that light off. But I'm finished the blonde unit. I have to dye the roots, and so to do that, let me turn this light off because this is bothering me. Remove it. So I have to dye the roots of the frontal brown. So I'm gonna be using this Cream of Nature medium warm brown color. Screenshot that if you like. And I'm just gonna follow the directions on here as to how to mix it. Once I get done mixing, I'm going to pour the contents out onto just a paper plate. You can use a mixing bowl if you have one. You can use a regular bowl, like whatever. And then I'm gonna use this comb and brush just to put it on the frontal very precisely. So that's the plan. Then I'm going to tone it with Shimmer Lights shampoo. And I'll insert a clip of me doing that, but basically I just explained the whole thing, and so I'll show you guys the finished outcome. Putting the dye on both sides, I just went back through this side and just made sure the roots were a little darker where the blonde is. And this side I finished, but it's not taking like this side, so I'm just gonna wait and see what that's all about. I'm getting a little nervous, but hopefully everything turns out fine, and I'll be back with the finished product. Hey guys, so it's day 3 now that I've been working on this frontal. And last night I just got so angry because I dyed the roots of the frontal, and I'll insert a video somewhere in here of what happened when I dyed it. And so then I rinsed the hair out, so none of the dye actually took on the hair, long story short. And so I re-dyed it last night with a different dye because I texted my hair supplier and I was just like, is this a bad frontal or what? Because I don't understand why the dye wouldn't work on blonde platinum hair. So I was in the process of dyeing my roots. I used this hair dye and I started on this side of the hair and it took, but this side of the hair is still blonde and it's been sitting on here since I left my house 3 hours ago. So I'm confused. Like, did I get a bad frontal or like what's going on with the hair? And so she was like, well, that dye doesn't work on my hair, blah blah blah, which is weird because I feel like I watched a YouTube video and that dye worked on the YouTube video on 613 hair. So I'm like, okay. So she was like, you have to use a different dye. She couldn't think of the specific dye name that I had to use, so I was already irritated with that. So I found some dye in my house that like I already had, and I'll show you guys right here. It's the Clairol semi-permanent color and it's wine brown. It's like a dark color. So after I rinsed the argan oil dye out, literally none of the dye took on the hair. It looked like I didn't even do anything to it. So like I said, I'll insert that video. And then I started doing this dye on the hair, and I'll insert a picture of how it looked, and then I'll insert a picture of how it came out. And yeah, it was just like so deceitful, and I thought it was really gonna work because the picture looked so good. And then I washed the hair out and it's like a sandy color brown. So I'm just so over it. So today I'm gonna try to go back in and re-dye the hair again with this color for the 3rd time, and hopefully it will turn out the dark brown like it looked, excuse me, on the picture. Okay, so I have it on and this is how it looks. Some of the roots closer to the lace didn't take because when I sprayed the Got2b glue on it, the frontal was laid flat, so it seeped through and got on some of the hair. But I don't know if I should re-dye this or if it looks like fine. I just don't like how light it is. Let me see. It's just like I wanted these roots to be darker. What y'all think? I think I'm gonna go in and re-dye it. This hair is gonna be fried by the time I'm done with it. This is freaking crazy. I'm irritated. Hey y'all, so I'm back. I went out, I went to a few stores, I went and grabbed a coffee, and I left the dye on my hair as it was. In the last clip, I'll insert that, remind myself. And so I left the dye on the hair and I'm like, okay, maybe if I leave it on for a few hours, it'll take. So I'll show you what the hair is looking like now. This is how she's looking. It's still dark. See if you can see that. Don't mind my background. Yeah, when I really get into this YouTube stuff, like for real, I'm having a nice little background, like a nice little YouTube room set up. But until then, I'm in my room, so don't mind my background. It's a little messy. But this is the wig. The roots are very much still dark. And it looks good just like this. This is how I wanted the roots. Like, I hope when I wash it out it stays this color, especially since now that I left the dye on much longer than I did yesterday. But I'm gonna wash this out and then I'll come back with another video, another clip on how it's looking after I wash this out. So yes, stay tuned. Here's a close-up of the hair wet. It definitely looks darker than before when I did the second coat of dye. The roots of the hair still look blonde because, like I said before, when I put the Got To Be Glue spray on, the hair was face down on the towel, so it got on the roots, the Got To Be Glue, which is what I essentially wanted so that I couldn't tint the lace with dye like I did right here. So that prevented me tinting the lace, but the roots are a little bit blonde. I can just put makeup on that though, that's not a big deal. But so here is the finished outcome, and we'll come back to see what it looks like once it dries. So this is day 4. This is the hair. It's semi-dry, and I bleached it. I didn't bleach it, excuse me. I dyed it 3 times and I toned it last night. And this is the next day after I toned it and washed all the dye out. This side right here is still light. When I put the argan oil, cream of nature dye on it, this was the side that didn't take the first time. And this is the side that did take. It's a little darker at the roots. So you can kind of tell, I can tell because I'm like really looking at it up close, that this side is lighter and this side is darker. But I think, I mean, you can kind of tell looking at it like this, but it's gonna have to do because I don't want to keep dyeing the hair and frying it. Obviously it's not gonna take, so this is the best it's gonna get.